1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash.
Good evening, everybody, or should I say good afternoon. We've got another 6 p.m. deadline, although the last couple were 6:30, so I'm talking rubbish. 6 p.m. deadline, do not miss it. Welcome to the Gameweek 27 deadline show. I just got a message as I went live, so distracted me a little bit. It was from Arna Slot saying Salah's not starting. Interesting. Yeah, I bought a new headset recently. It's a bit big, obviously, compared to the usual headphones I wear, but it's quite comfy and it's wireless. So, yeah, DJ Andy, absolutely not. I'm pretty locked on Palmer captain. I'm going to change the music a sec. I'm pretty locked on Palmer captain, and I think I'm either going to roll or do Anderson to 8 Nuri. I think I'm going to leave Cunha and hope that João Pedro starts. I don't really want to sell Isak or Watkins to Cunha necessarily this week. I think João Pedro's okay if he plays. Pickford or Flecken? So Brentford away or Flecken, I think. Go for the home game, even though Beto is seemingly unstoppable at the moment. João Pedro just tweeted. Hang on a second. Let me just pin this. What did João Pedro say? I need to. Oh, what? I need to translate it. He said, oh, he's talking about some album. Salah isn't starting. No, Salah probably is starting. I can't see why he wouldn't. Slot or Glasner or Pereira? For this week, I go Glasner. Feels like many switched to Palmer in the last day. Yeah, I mean, I've been on Palmer since FPL ticked over for the last deadline. But I did say on my team selection video, I was probably like 90% sure I was going to change back. But I don't think I'm going to. I was thinking about it last night and this morning, because that's all I do apparently, is think about Palmer captaincy. And I actually feel pretty calm about it. I was on a podcast / not podcast earlier, chatting about it, and how like some decisions go down to the wire, and I'm not quite sure, and you know, it's not fake. I just don't really know what to do right up until the deadline. But I'm actually feeling pretty calm about Palmer captain. I don't see me taking it off of him. Imagine if Palmer is benched. You know what? When I saw you say that, Maresca has rotated quite a lot in easier games. But honestly, who are they going to play instead of Palmer? It'd be nuts to bench him. Chelsea might lose without him. It's my 10th anniversary of subscribing to the channel. Is that true? Because that means you would have subscribed back when I wasn't even doing FPL. You don't think Salah scores more points? I mean, if I did think that, I'd be captaining Salah, I guess. It's probably going to be quite close. And I'll be honest, if Palmer gets 1 goal, a clean sheet, and an assist, and finish, what would that be for a midfielder? Probably 3 bonus as well. What's that, like 10? Oh, hang on, I've got to work it out now. Oh, my God. Goal, clean sheet is 8, 3 bonus, select 14 points, right? Then I'd still be worried that Salah can outscore him. So it does feel in some ways a little bit of a risk, but also it's Southampton at home. So I'm just going to go with it. Ramo, thank you. Or Ramo, possibly. Am I ready to be asked about Palmer versus Salah every 20 seconds? Possibly. Yeah, 14. I'm a little bit slow today. Can you please check Matoma? Check him for what? When was the last time Palmer got a double-digit score? It was in game week 21, I believe. Against Bournemouth when he scored. Yeah, and he got 10 the week before against Crystal Palace as well. The difference between Southampton and Newcastle is greater than the difference between Palmer and Salah. Possibly. Hope so. Bowen or Cunha for the next few weeks. I'd probably go Bowen, to be honest. I think they're both good. If you're going to eventually get them both anyway, I would get Bowen this week against Leicester and then pick up Cunha before Southampton. I captain Palmer, wait and see Salah get a hat-trick. Absolutely could happen. Do I think João Pedro starts? I think there's a pretty good chance of it because Welbeck is a doubt, but I don't fully trust Hertzler, if I'm honest. So although he said, well, like, he might be telling the truth that Welbeck is a doubt, but he also might not be telling us how much of a doubt, right? So I'm a little bit worried that he will play. Welbeck, that is, but just got to roll with it, I think. I don't think you necessarily need to avoid Neto, but I think someone who played in the last game is going to get benched. I think Sancho might start against Southampton. So is it going to be Nkunku? Is it going to be Neto? Is it going to be neither? Is it going to be Reece James and Enzo Fernandez moves back? I don't know. Brighton registered 12 shots on target against Southampton in the last game and won 4-0. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea beat them 5-1 away. There's no reason why they couldn't do something similar. Bench Chris Wood or Utara. I'd probably bench Chris Wood and just hope that the Arsenal defence does the business. All the stats sites say Wanyeri gets more points than Utara. Seems wrong to my gut. I think it's probably quite a close call, but I'm just going to go for Utara, I think, and hope that he plays number 9 again. I don't think Evan Nilsson's going to start. And Wanyeri's fine though, so it's part of the reason I'm not going to buy Cunha, because if next week João Pedro is not an option, I can just bench him and play Wanyeri and Utara. And if not, I could just buy Cunha next week instead. Is it worth Rodgers to Semenyo for a free transfer? Like, you don't need to start him with Salah, Palmer, and Burmo, Kluivert, Isak, Cunha, Gakpo. Worried about cover if Gakpo sits. I don't think Gakpo's just not going to play at all. So, worst case scenario is Gakpo probably comes off the bench for Liverpool. I think there's a chance he starts against Newcastle, honestly. So I don't think I wouldn't do Rodgers to Semenyo just for a bench upgrade. 2 free transfers, is it worth? Mateta, Rodgers to Bowen, Cunha. I wouldn't be selling Mateta right now, personally. If you can do Rodgers to Bowen for free, that seems pretty good. Again, I said this on the video yesterday. Cunha is very good, but please don't feel like he's essential. I feel like there's a little bit too much hype around him at the moment. Watkins to Cunha and Greaves to 8 Nuri for free. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't necessarily think Watkins needs to be sold, but sure. I guess I would rather have Cunha this week. Is the league over? Yeah, probably. Hang on 2 secs. Sorry, I should quickly do something set. Sorry, Kanate or Konza? Kanate, I think. Yeah, definitely. I have Gabriel and Trent already. Nice. 1 free transfer and Glasner assistant. Is that okay for Emery? Yeah, Glasner is the manager I would go for this week. Thoughts on wildcard Haaland? Well, Haaland's a doubt for this week, so I wouldn't wildcard and I wouldn't get Haaland right now. How much does the total 90 football affect XG? I'm not sure what that means. Njai to Cunha and bench Semenyo or roll. I'd probably just roll, I think, in that case. Start Utara or Enzo. I'd probably say Enzo just because it's Southampton. Bench Wood or Gakpo. Chris Wood, I think. Abby, 19 months. Thank you. Neto, captain, punt, chasing rank. I wouldn't captain Neto. Could do really well because it's Southampton, but honestly, I would just go Palmer. Like, the thing with chasing rank is if you chase the wrong thing, you could be even further behind. I just don't like Neto as captain. Like, Salah and Palmer is so strong. It just feels like you look for your differentials elsewhere. Is it worth starting João Pedro over Utara this week, given the Welbeck news? Already have Kluivert starting. Would be up top with Isak and Gakpo. Yeah, so basically João Pedro versus Utara. I'd probably start João Pedro and hope for the best. Switch from slot to Frank. Didn't want to risk it. Nice. Gabriel to 8 Nuri to allow Rodgers to Bowen -4. Probably not, no. Again, I think Bowen's good, but I would only do Rodgers to Bowen for free or a better -4. Selling Gabriel, who's got fixtures from now till 29 for a -4, doesn't seem great. Considering Rodgers to Bowen implies I have to bench Raul Jimenez this week and probably next week. I'd have 11.29, but would block Haaland unless a hit. Yeah. It's the same thing as yesterday, right? Do you want to block Haaland or not? Like, a hit to get Haaland for captaincy in 29 is probably not that big of a deal. It depends on the order of your transfers, though. Like, for me, for example, if I do... This is something I worked out earlier, which I hadn't thought about before. If I do Anderson to 8 Nuri, I've then got Gabriel, 8 Nuri, and Mikalenko ready for game week 29. So if I want to sell Trent to get money for a Haaland in 29, I'm basically buying a defender I don't really need. So it's part of the reason I'm thinking about rolling, which when I say out loud, I'm not sure it makes sense. Because 8 Nuri is better than Anderson for the next 2 weeks, so why not just get him? But I might be able to just get away with 29 without taking any hits. Yeah, for assistant manager, I'd just go Glasner table bonus or Maresca for no table bonus. Would you start Utara or Wood? I'd probably go Utara, but I think it's quite close. Which game is on TV tonight at 9? They're all on TNT, right? It's midweek, so you can watch whatever you want. Although my Sky's out again, so I'm not sure what I'll be able to watch. Is it worth selling Gabriel and buying Trent? I probably wouldn't buy Trent at this point. If you got him, you definitely hold him, but I'm not sure I'd buy him because it's just another transfer out in 29. Current chip strategy is probably wildcard 30-31, free hit 34, bench boost 33. Bench 1, Chris Wood, Semenyo, Utara. Chris Wood, I think. The Arsenal defence is doing a lot of the lifting there. Start Rodgers or Wood. Ahmad to Bowen and Jai for Bowen. Not sure what their second player is there. I think Iriola will start Evan Nilsson or leave Dango. Yeah, Dango will probably start. Is benching Chris Wood for 27 and 28 good for Cunha? If I had Cunha and Chris Wood, I would play Cunha, yeah, in both weeks. Bench Beto, Wood or Isak? Probably Chris Wood again. Chris Wood's going to score any against Arsenal. Just not sure if going for Bowen to bench Raul Jimenez versus Wolves makes the most of sense. It's an away game, though. Bowen is definitely better. Like, simple as that. I will say, though, it is a pretty close call because obviously it's not just the Bowen thing, but also if it sets you up for a hit later, it's another 4 points down. And it's not like Raul Jimenez is bad, but maybe Bowen, for what he could do this week, is just worth it. Bench 2 of Aina, Kirkes, Robinson, Munoz. Bench 2. Well, you're definitely playing Munoz, right? I'd play Robinson, I think, out of the rest. Oh my god, I can't stop thinking about Munoz, by the way. It's absolutely killing me. Like, this week, the only reason I'm thinking about doing Anderson to 8 Nuri is because of my defence. If I just sold Solanke the night before, I'd have Munoz right now. And I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd just be rolling. And I'd have more points, probably. I'm not saying I would have definitely played him for both of the hauls. I might have benched him. But at least I'd have him this week and next week for Ipswich. Like, Ipswich at home, it feels like everyone owns him. I'm just not going to have him. Don't worry about me, Noz. Anderson Brace versus Wolves, if only. Sell Trent for Vardiol. I don't think that makes any sense to me. Trent could get rested versus Southampton last week, but Bradley's out for a few weeks. Trent started every single game he's been fit for in the league. I think I would just keep him. I don't get... Who have Man City got this week? It's not like a super easy fixture, is it? Spurs away. I don't get it. I do not get Trent to Vardiol one bit. Getting bored of FPL, needs some inspiration this week. Everything is so predictable, like Salah. You could always just not play. Like, you shouldn't play games that bore you. Start Sells or Pickford. I would start... I would probably go Sells as well, I think. I think they're both going to... I think there's quite a good chance that both concede, so I'm just going to go for the guy at home. Maybe sell Palmer, Kluivert for Saka when he returns. Yeah, I don't think Saka's going to necessarily be that much of an option, to be honest, because by the time he's back, we'll be thinking about doubles, and Arsenal probably won't double. It's not impossible, but so it depends. He'd have to be back and then know that. Well, I guess if they're still chasing for the league, they'll probably push him to start as soon as possible. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it right now. Robinson or Gabriel bench? Robinson. Trossard, Kluivert or Isak. For the bench, I'd probably bench Trossard, I guess. Tarkowski, Mikalenko and Lewis Hall. Play 2 or take a hit. Just play Tarkowski and Mikalenko, I think. Is Wan-Bissaka a good option short term? I think it's a bit of a knee-jerk, that one. I probably wouldn't be going out of my way to bring Wan-Bissaka. He's probably fine because of the fixtures, but I suspect you've already got a pretty good defence. Pick 3, Trent, Konate, Gabriel, 8, Nori. Trent, Gabriel, 8, Nori. Murillo to Munoz or roll and play Howson. No free hit in 29, but currently only have Isak and Salah. Oh, nice. I'd be tempted to pick up Munoz if you think you can get through 29. It is Villa this week, though. I would not be surprised if Villa score. I think the Ipswich game's more of a worry. Like, I think I'm more annoyed about not having Munoz because I could have just gone one day earlier on my transfer, and Munoz is definitely better than Anderson, but there's every chance they can see this week. I'm hoping, as a Watkins owner. Sell Ahmad to Bowen or in Burmo for free. I think it's quite close between those two. I think just because he's got Leicester right in front of you, I'd probably go Bowen. But there's every chance that Mbeumo could just outscore him because he's also been great. But I think Bowen's stats are pretty similar. He's also on penalties with Paquetá out. Probably not as good a penalty taker as Mbeumo, but I think I would go Bowen just because of Leicester. Are we on Palmer or Salah now? On the screen. Start Isak or Kluivert. Isak. Take a hit for Rodgers or Gakpo. Probably not. There's no news on Rodgers. I would predict a start, but it is somewhat risky. I can't guarantee it, obviously. I'm not sure I would take a -4. Like, if you're taking a -4 to Bowen and you've got no good bench, something like that, then maybe I would do it. But yeah. Bench 2, Trent, Timber, Mikalenko, Cash House. Again, you're not benching Trent, are you? So it's 2 of the other 4. I would play Timber easy, I think, and Cash or Mikalenko. Probably Cash, I guess. Is Cash even... Cash should start, right? I think he started the last game. I saw... is it Garcia? Yeah, Cash should start, I think. Selling Trent from Murillo in 29, buy back 30. You can definitely sell Trent in 29. I'm not so sure you'll want to buy him back, though. But we'll see. What's your free hit wildcard chip strategy? Probably free hit 34, which will be another blank, and wildcard in 30 or 31. Basically, the plan right now is 31 because a lot of the leftover team from Game Week 29 will have pretty good fixtures in 30, and we might not know the double Game Week schedule in Game Week 30, but we should know it by Game Week 31 at the latest. Didn't expect so many to be on Palmer. Yeah, there does seem to have been a bit of a swing today, for whatever reason. I think a lot of people are using they're using the narrative that Southampton have got injuries, but I mean, I don't think it matters what injuries Southampton have got. They're just not very good. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I feel quite calm about it, the Palmer captaincy, but we'll see how it goes. When's the best triple captain, wildcard and free hit? Well, the best wildcard and free hit really depends on your team. For some people, it's free hit 29, wildcard 35. For other people, it's wildcard 30, 31, free hit 34. Best triple captain is probably going to be 32, though, for Isak, I would say. Bench 1, Kluivert, Utara, Rodgers. Rodgers is a doubt, so it's got to be him. Bench 1 of Mbeumo, Vissa, Wood, Kluivert. I mean, again, Mbeumo's got Everton at home. Wood's got Arsenal at home. I think it's got to be Wood there. If you couldn't captain Salah or Palmer, who would you captain? I don't want, but I'll never be in that scenario. I don't know why I would say that. Yeah. For my team, I would probably captain Mbeumo. I think, out of the options. If I had the option of any other player, I mean, I'd maybe Fernandes against Ipswich, maybe Bowen against Leicester, something like that. I would have said Haaland, but he's a doubt. I mean, maybe Marmoush against Spurs, but I think in my team in Burmo. Forgive my utter madness, and I would get a lot of stick, but is Dorgu a half-decent option for a couple of weeks? Fixture-proof? I'm not sure you can put him down as fixture-proof. Good value, yes. Differential, yes. Trying to find all the FPL phrases I can. I think Dorgu's pretty good for this week in 29, just because it's Ipswich at home and Leicester away. Yes, it's Man United, I get that, and they're not that far ahead of Ipswich and Leicester, but I like Dorgu, but I don't like him in 28 against Arsenal at home. So, like, if I sell Anderson, which I think I'm leaning more towards rolling, to be honest, but if I sell Anderson, I'll probably go to 8 Nuri because I want to play him every week, like 27, 28, 29. If you've got a good team, like, I could go Dorgu and then just play Mikalenko in 28. But for that reason, I'd probably go 8 Nuri. But I don't mind Dorgu as a punt. It's hard, like, to know how good he's going to be because he plays for Man United and we haven't seen a lot of him in the Premier League. But he seems to have picked up some okay positions when I've watched him play. So, as a punt, sure, but I don't think I don't think I'd be going out of my way to buy Man United defenders, you know. But yeah, 27, 29, don't mind him at all. Cliver, Utara, Watkins, Isak, Neto, bench one. Probably Cliver or Utara. I've got to be honest, I actually had a very brief discussion with Praz earlier because he's thinking about the same, Cliver or Utara bench. I said I would, well, I didn't say which one I would do. I basically said if there's no penalties in the game, I suspect Utara will do better. I think Praz is leaning more towards playing Cliver though. It's almost coin flip. You can't, if you've got Neto, you've got to play him. I find it really hard to bench Isak, and I think I prefer Watkins to both of Utara and Cliver this week. One free transfer, stick with Emery on assistant manager or switch for the bonus. I'd be tempted to switch. I think Wolves and Palace both at home with table bonus is quite nice. Bench one, Isak, Semenyo, Mbeumo, Bowen, Cunha. I've just realised, by the way, when the chip came out, I said that transfers will definitely be worth using on assistant manager. I didn't make any. I guess I did use a transfer to get a slot free for slot. But outside of that, I didn't use any. Bench one, Isak, Semenyo, Mbeumo, Bowen, Cunha, Mateta. Yeah, I think that's Semenyo. Pretty easy, to be honest. I mean, it's not easy because he's a good option this week, but I couldn't bench the others. By the way, I'm already sort of thinking about next season in terms of graphics and stream setup. I don't know if I'm going to bring the ticker back, but I'm definitely going to have a bench in headache section on the stream. I think, which I'll set up in a way that I can alter it during the stream in case I have a change of heart or there's new information or something like that. Start Van Dijk or Kastat Van Dijk. And Kunku was a 2-week punt. I don't mind it. I'm sure he'll start. Let me just say that. I'm sure he'll start. I suspect that the change in the Chelsea team will be Reece James dropping out maybe. And Enzo playing a little bit deeper. But we'll see. We'll see. What's the chances Palmer gets rested? I think very, very minimal. Now, I think there's a chance that Palmer could get subbed early, but hopefully if that's going to happen, the score's already pretty big, and therefore he's got returns. I suspect, I mean, my guess would be that Salah will be on the pitch longer than Palmer this game week. My hope is that it won't matter. I'm 15 points off the top 500. This captain decision today feels massive. Yeah, I fully get it, right? If I was close to top 500, I'd probably be thinking even more about my decisions than I already do when I'm only 130k. But I suspect that this decision will not be what does or does not get you in the top 500. So it's very difficult to do, but try and picture you being 100k. What would you do? Go for the same. Should I do Ahmad to Neto for a -4? Who are you benching if you do the -4? I mean, in theory, yes, because Ahmad's out for the season, but it probably means you're benching someone else. Not scared of going against the FPL Go. I mean, I'm very aware that Salah could do really well. He is quite good, yeah. Nothing on WellBet that I've seen. If I donate £50, will you put Anderson as captain? No. Sell Wanieri for Bowen or just play Gibbs White? I'd maybe just play Wanieri. No, honestly, if you've got the money... Wanieri to Bowen's a bit of a tough one because Wanieri's got a fixture in 29. But honestly, if you can get Bowen and your team looks good for 29, you've got the chances to do it. I would just get him, yeah. Or... Yes, yeah, sorry. I get why you're keeping Gibbs White because of the Ipswich game. What happened to 90% sure you would be on Salah by today? Well, there was 10% where I wasn't sure. I'm definitely not getting Bowen unless there's some news that comes out later that one of my midfielders is injured. But I just don't think I can sell any of my midfielders. And to do Wanieri to Bowen, I'd have to sell Watkins for -4. So I'm not getting Bowen. Cunha I could do for João Pedro, but I think there's a good chance João Pedro starts. So I'm probably just not going to get Cunha. And just be punished like I was earlier on in the season. Still got my assistant manager chip. Which AM should I bring in? Glasner for me. I need to get a ticker back, don't I? I don't think the news and info section bottom right is big enough to put stuff in. Last week you said your captain Isak. You lied. I did not say at any point I'm 100% captaining Isak. If I did, please send me the video and I'll donate you some money. When would you activate the assistant manager if you hadn't done it yet? I'd wait for more doubles later on. Is Mateta better than Cunha right now? It's probably quite close, to be honest. Whichever one you've got, I would just hold. Put it that way. Was there an injury doubt on Isak? No, he looked like he was grimacing just before he got taken off, but honestly, there was nothing said about it from any journalist, from Eddie Howe. There was nothing said in the press conference today, so I'm presuming he's fine. Sell Sarr or Rodgers for Bowen or in Burmo? I think just because he's a doubt and Sarr's got Villa then Ipswich, I'd sell Rodgers. And I'm going to side with Bowen just about, but honestly, they're both good. The fact that Bowen's got Leicester at home this week is swaying me, essentially. 1 free transfer, Cunha or Wood, can't decide. I honestly think that's a no-brainer. And it ain't Chris Wood. Six Andy AI video. No AI videos will count. As a Toon fan, I'm leaving Salah in. If I don't get points, then I cursed him against us. Yeah, I mean, I get that some people play FPL with rules about like not being able to captain a player against their team and stuff like that. Absolutely fair if that's how you want to play. But like, if you're anything anti, I can't captain Salah this season, you're probably in, or you can't play him, you're probably in trouble. I don't think it's any coincidence. In the sleeper draft, in the draft we're doing on Sleeper with some of the other content creators, FPL General's at the top. Do you know which player he got? Mo Salah. So I think he's got a pretty good team outside of that, but I think that is a big reason why he's winning. Absolutely smashing it. It seems home games don't matter as the away teams are dominating. I did see something going around saying that the home advantage is not quite as big as it was, but Salah and Palmer are both at home, so worth a -4 to do Matoma for Rodgers and Cunha for João Pedro. Probably not. I would just do one of them. Probably the Matoma move. Start 2. Chris Wood, Munoz, Gabriel, Colwell, Trent Canate. Oh, start 2. Huh? I guess. No, 1, 2, 3. You got all 5 defenders there, so you got to start at least 3 of them and Chris Wood, unless I'm missing something. I mean, Trent Canate, Trent Colwell, Munoz. Maybe no, Trent, Colwell, Gabriel, the defenders. I'm not sure what Chris Wood's doing there. Decision down to Bowen now versus Haaland on 29. I'd be tempted to leave the Haaland option open, to be honest with you, but he's still a doubt right now. Presumably by 29 he'll be fine, though. Smith Rowe doubts. Oh, God, I've not even looked. Smith Rowe. See if I can find Fulham. I think he is a doubt. I'm sure I saw something about that. Yeah, I can't remember what Marco Silva said, but I think he is a doubt, yes. If you've got him. I wouldn't be buying him, that's for sure. Chelsea have Southampton at home and then Leicester at home. Any advice, Neto? Yeah, Neto's probably the midfielder I'd buy alongside Palmer if I was going for one. I got to be honest, there is part of me that thinks, how have I not got another Chelsea player for these two fixtures. Like, part of me thinks maybe I should go Anderson to Colwill or Cucurella. But then I'm going to be... Do you know what? I could do that and then take the hit for Trent to a different defender in 29. Anyway, yeah, Neto probably. Start Rodgers or Wanieri. Or use my only free transfer on Cunha 8 Nuri. Struggling with how much to value roll transfer when I can get a full team in 29. So you're saying if you don't roll transfers, you can still get a full team. One thing to point out is, which I don't think I've mentioned on any videos, but as a reminder, before Game Week 28, there'll be another round of the FA Cup. Now, that's not going to give you all the information you need for the rest of the season, but it might help a little bit with what things are going to look like after the blank. So if you're not sure, rolling a transfer still seems pretty sensible, even if you can now get a team out for 29. And stuff can happen as well. I think Wanieri is okay to play. I also think it's okay to use a transfer on Cunha because he's still going to be really good for 29. That captaincy poll has got closer and closer towards the deadline. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it is. So it's currently... Oh no, I thought Palmer was ahead, but apparently 3% of people are not captaining Salah or Palmer. Maybe Bowen? Bench on Cliver, Utara, Cunha, Visser. Again, it's Cliver or Utara. I'm not really sure which one. I'd almost do a coin flip. I guess if I had to give you an answer, I'd probably play Utara. But if there's a penalty, you're going to be shouting at me. Gakpo news. No real news. He's probably fine. He's probably available, I would say. Like, there was no news to say he was out, put it that way. Start Konza or Mikalenko. I'd probably start... I think they're both quite close this week. I'd probably start whichever one you don't have an attacker playing against. If you haven't got like an Mbeumo or a Mateta, I guess I'd play Mikalenko. Bench one, Clivert, João Pedro, Utara. Probably Clivert again, but it's very close. Wouldn't do FPL if it weren't for mini leagues. Cool. That's good to know. Evening from Hong Kong. Hello from Ireland. One free transfer, 1.6 in the back. Thoughts on Delap to Cunha or Lewis Hall to 8 Nuri? Not free hit 29. 2 weak defenders starting, 2 midfielders, 1 forward missing. So probably taking a -4. Anyway, Chase Cunha versus Delap outside now. Delap's Man United away, right? And then who else has he got after that? Palace away, and then in the blank it's Forest home. Do you have to play Lewis Hall? So if you have to play in this week, it's Delap and Hall or... Oh, no, sorry. 8 Nuri and Delap or Cunha and Hall. I'd probably go Cunha. What's the one player you wish you had from day one? Salah, I guess. Yeah, probably Salah. Because I didn't get until game week 10. I have Colwill like you have Anderson. That's not like I have Anderson. Colwill's great. He's got Southampton and Leicester at home. Nah, I would do Watkins. I wouldn't sell Colwill. I'd sell Watkins before I'd sell Watkins to Cunha. I basically roll in your case, by the way. I wouldn't sell Watkins or Colwill, but if you're going to do one, I'd do Watkins to Cunha. Bench one of Wood, Semenya or Utara. Thinking Wood, but super nervous about it. Yeah, Chris Wood for me. Can't afford Bowen. Do you like going for Kudus as differential, or should I just go for Clive or someone else? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. My thinking would be take the punt on Kudus because it's Leicester at home. And like he probably is the better option this week, but I've got a feeling in 3 weeks' time, overall score will be better for like a Bournemouth player. So I guess I'd lean that way. But I do like Kudus' differential. Tariq, thank you. Glasner or Slot? Definitely Glasner for me for the table bonus. Also Cunha for Wood or João Pedro. I mean, this week I actually think João Pedro might be better than Chris Wood. But I think for the next 3, I'd probably just go Chris Wood because you know he's going to start. So I guess you've got to sell João Pedro. You could just roll. Rodgers to Bowen or Njai to better. Rodgers to Bowen. Go Rodgers to Mbeumo or João Pedro to Cunha. Probably Rodgers to Mbeumo. Bench Enzo or João Pedro. That's a tough one. It's a tough one because João Pedro could just get benched, right? Enzo's not going to get benched, but Enzo could play deeper, but it is Southampton. João Pedro's probably on penalties. Enzo's not. I don't know. I'll say Enzo just because I'm 100% sure. I'm like 99% sure he'll start. João Pedro, I'm like 80%, I guess. Do I take a -4 and take in Wood for Njai? I probably would not do that, no. Chris Wood before Arsenal for -4 doesn't sound great. Start Enzo or Kluivert. Again, like super close decision. I'm going to say Kluivert. Any question involving Enzo, I'm just not going to be that sure about, because part of me thinks you've got to play him because it's Southampton and it'd be stupid not to. But he also might play a little bit deeper. Maybe that'll make a little bit of difference. I really don't know on the Enzo stuff. And I know I'm going to get so many more questions about it. I didn't realise so many people had held on to him this long. Utara and Isak to Bowen and Cunha, 2 free transfers and not free hit in 29. I probably wouldn't sell Isak. I mean, I don't think you need to sell either of them, to be honest. I mean, Bowen and Cunha are probably better this week. I don't think there's much in it between Isak and Cunha, though. Utara to Bowen, maybe. I'll be tempted to roll. Martin, 50 months, thank you. Rogers to Bowen or play Enzo and roll. I think Rogers to Bowen is a good move, to be honest. Right up until 29 as well. Alex, 30 months. Who do you prefer for the next 3, Bowen or Bowen? It's very close. I'd probably go Bowen because of Leicester this week. And is it worth selling Isak to Cunha? I'd probably keep Isak for now. Bench one of Isak, Watkins, Utara or Trossard. I'd probably bench Trossard out of those. Isak and Rogers to Cunha and Fernandes -4. No. Don't think so. I would just do Rogers out. I wouldn't sell Isak for -4. I think. United clean sheet versus Ipswich, possibly. Ipswich was Amorim's first game for Man United in charge in the league. And they kind of smashed us around quite a lot. But this time it's at home. And Man United have got so many players fit and they're playing so well right now. I'm sure they'll get a clean sheet. Hopefully, though. Yo-Yo, 17 months, thinking, when's the best time to use free hit if not 29? Probably 34. But we'll be a bit more informed after the blank, hopefully. Utara to Bowen or João Pedro to Cunha? I mean, Utara is potentially a minute's risk as well moving forward. I mean, this week, just to sit on the fence a bit here, this week I'd rather have Bowen and João Pedro. But I think over the next 3 weeks, I'd probably rather have Utara and Cunha. But it's so close. I'll say Bowen just because of the Leicester game. If you could only have one this game week, who would you choose, Palmer or Salah? Well, I'm captaining Palmer, so I guess I've got to say him. What percentage set are you on Palmer captain? I think 100. Regarding rolling versus Bowen, there's FA Cup and Champions League before 28. A lot can happen. Yeah, mentioned FA Cup earlier. I forgot about Champions League, to be fair. I'd like to see them... Yeah, I think if you can roll this week, I quite like it. But there's also points to be had. Like, Bowen is good. I think I'm going to roll, personally. But I don't have that same decision, right? I'm going to hope that Ain't Nuri doesn't absolutely smash it. If Ain't Nuri goes and gets a double-digit haul, that's going to make me cry. I'd like to see them introduce a cap on how many times you can captain the same player. Will make the game way more interesting. Honestly, I hate that idea. I think it's rubbish. I know, like, basically, this happens every season. Once a player does really well for many game weeks in a row, people want to change the rules. I don't like the idea of changing the rules based on one player every season that's doing well. But it's not even just that. Let me give you an example, right? You can only captain Salah so many times, and you're nearly at your cap. But he's got like Southampton at home in game week 25, and he's got Leicester at home in game week 28. And so you save the Southampton. You don't captain him against Southampton because you want to save him for the Leicester game instead, and then he gets injured. Like it just adds even more variance and annoyance to the game. So I get why people want it, but I hate it. Absolutely hate. And I know the counter argument will be, well, that can happen anyway, right? You can bring a player in, they can get injured. There's already luck, but why add more to it? So unless I'm missing something, I really hate that idea. I'd rather they just got rid of captaincy, but I also don't think they should do that either. Like, people are saying you've got to change the rules because everyone's captaining Salah every week. Well, what about this week? Palmer versus Salah. If you get rid of captaincy, then your decision around Palmer and Salah, there's no decision to be made, is there? Like, if captaincy wasn't a thing, this week we'd be just sat here going, well, I've got Palmer and Salah. I don't need to worry about who scores more points. So I think it's it's not that it's a rubbish idea. I just do not like it. And I don't think they should introduce it. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my opinion on it. Buying Kunku instead of Bowen. There's no chance I'll buy Kunku instead of Bowen, I don't think. Sells, keep or Sar and bench Gakpo. I'd bench Kulusevski over Gakpo. Sells, keep or Sar. I not, is that, if you've got Sells already, I'd maybe just play him, yeah. Thoughts on Minter? Good for, I wouldn't get Minter. Like, he probably will start, but I don't know if he's like 100% nailed. Just don't think it's worth it. It's also Man City away in 29, which might not be that bad. There's actually like a stat going around about how well Brighton have done when they have less possession, and presumably that will happen against Man City in game week 29. But yeah, I still don't think I'd buy him. What's your overall rank? Have you got rid of it? It's above my head, but it like scrolls. I'm going to change the stream setup a little bit next year, so maybe I'll just have my overall rank like permanently shown. I'm not trying to hide it. It's just all season it's rotated above my head, like just up here. 1.5 times points instead of times 2 for captain is the answer. Maybe. I think that's better than capping the amount of times you can captain a player. Like, I really do not like that idea. -4 Lewis Hall to Colwell. Need to take a hit in 29 anyway. I guess so, but does Colwell help that? Because he's got Arsenal away in 29. West Ham attack has just been so rubbish during the whole season, even worse during last 6. Bowen's data is just okay-ish. It's similar to Mbeumo, right? And he's on penalties. And also, we've got a lot of historical data that tells us Bowen is pretty good. Bench 1, Visser, Kluivert, Utara, Bruno, Isak, Cunha. Maybe Visser. It's Everton at home, isn't it? I'm gonna say Kluivert, but him and Utara are probably quite close. I mean, you're not going to bench Bruno against Ipswich at home. Bruno pumped with Ipswich and Leicester. I don't hate it as long as the money doesn't get in the way. But just remember, it's Arsenal in the middle. Abolishing captains, a genuine skill in FPL, the reason for your ultimate finish 99% of the time, and a massive opportunity to ensure you spread funds by not simply owning just expensive players. Yeah, I don't think, for what it's worth, I don't think they should get rid of captaincy. I just think if it's capping the amount of times you can captain a player or getting rid of it, I'd prefer just to get rid of it. But I'd rather it just stayed as it is. I don't think it's a problem. I really don't. Like, essentially, people are coming up with that idea now because Salah's done so well. Right? Again, as soon as a player does really well, people want to change the rules. No one's some people aren't going to captain Salah this week. Everyone's going to captain next week. Fair enough. It's Southampton at home. Game week 29, he's not playing. 30 probably, 31 maybe, 32 there's a double. So I guess people are going to go elsewhere. Put it this way, right? Let's say you had a cap on captains and you'd already used it for Isak, and all of a sudden Newcastle get a double game week out of nowhere. Well, you're suddenly screwed because you already used your down the line. So what do we have to do? Just not captain players in case they get doubles down the line, and just hope that the doubles are for teams where we've got captaincies left. Like, I don't like it. Utara, Cunha, Enzo, Wood, bench 1. Chris Wood. Double points for differential would be a fun way to break up the template. Never going to happen, though. I do like the idea of underdog points like the assistant manager. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm quite boring. I just like the game as it is. I don't think... I understand why they want to keep messing with it because they need to get new people interested and stuff like that. But I think the game is just fine as it is. Every season people want rule changes to fix what they don't like about that particular season. Defender pricing, captain is changing midfielders to forwards. Yeah, exactly. It always happens. Honestly, like, pricing can solve so much. It's like some people will say, well, okay, don't get rid of captaincy, but add a second captain. But that'll make no difference. It will make no difference because then you'll just always make sure you've got the 2 best captains every week. Chalobah and Bednarak injured. 5.2 in the bank. Play Lewis Hall and transfer Luis Diaz to Palmer, or -8. Chalobah, Watkins, Utara to Palmer, 8 Nuri and Cunha. I fancy the hits. I got to be honest, first instinct is I quite like the hits as well. But honestly, like Luis Diaz to Palmer seems pretty good to me without having to take the hits. But if you fancy the hits, go for it. Start Wanieri over Utara this week. No, not for me. I'm literally not doing that. People massively overthink FPL. Captains aren't the be-all and end-all of having a good rank. Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, if you buy a player that does really well all the way through, you're probably likely to have a better rank. But there will be people right up top in like the top 100 that have like never owned Chris Wood or something like that, or they've gone against Salah captain more often, not more often than not, but more times than the average person. There's lots of ways to get points. I wish I knew what those ways were, because then maybe I'd have a better rank. But yeah, I don't know. But I do think price. Like I saw one thing like a few months ago about how they should reduce the points for penalties scored. Right? Absolutely fine, no issue with that whatsoever. But if the worry is that it's too easy to pick players on penalties, why not just put the price up of players that are on penalties and make it harder to have so many in your team? Like I honestly think a lot of the problem is price. Like Salah. And again, it's a little bit of hindsight because he's having a record-breaking season right now. He's never been above 13 million. He's scored 211 plus points every year he's been in the league. Anyway, I feel like we're having a lot of talk about rules, and maybe there's just not that much to talk about this week apart from captaincy. Double Palace defense or Watkins, Sharda, or Semenyo. I'd play all of those attackers ahead of a defender if that's what you're asking. Problem is, by the end of the season, everyone's got similar squad, or at least all the points counts, so it becomes really difficult to catch up and you just lose hope in the last 10 to 15. I don't know if that's true, to be honest, because the last few weeks of the season are where most people play chips, there's doubles, there's blanks, there's a lot of points on offer. I mean, ask anyone that went for free hit 34 last year and got like Mateta and Elise and players like that. I'm sure they weren't finding it difficult to catch up. Watkins and Rogers, Acuna and Bowen. Watkins and Rogers, Acuna and Bowen for a hit. I don't mind it because you're shifting Rogers. Wood to Cunha, fixtures are better, and if I don't do it, I can't see myself going for Cunha. We'll own Haaland, Isak, and Wood in 29. Bench Isak. I mean, you could sell Isak to Cunha, but yeah, in that case, I'd probably get Cunha. Reddit, you can't captain the same player consecutively, but that's exactly the same problem as with the cap on the amount of times, right? And also, like, let's say that was in play this season. Well, I captained Salah last week against Man City. No problem captain this week. I've got Palmer. Next week, I just captain Salah again in the better fixture. Like, it would increase the amount of planning, but again, it gives you more ways to get screwed over. I think it sounds like one of those things that everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people thinks will make the game better and make them less annoyed at it. But imagine if you think, well, I've got to save Salah captain for Southampton, so I'm not going to captain him against Newcastle, and then he goes and absolutely smashes it, then blanks against Southampton. It's going to frustrate you. I feel like the captaincy changes people want. It's just more ways to frustrate you. But maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Because ultimately, I just quite like the game as it is. João Pedro or Kluivert / Utara. I wouldn't buy João Pedro, but if you've got him, I'd play João Pedro ahead of both of them. Probably. I mean, I'll be honest, right? I put Kluivert and Utara ahead on the bench and headaches on final thoughts, just because there's some doubt around João Pedro. But if you're confident he starts, which I probably am as well, I think he is probably better. Bench Utara, Enzo, Isak or Wood. Wood. Bench one, Kluivert, Wood, Isak or Visser. Wood. Bench Watkins, Wood or Utara, Wood. Would you bench Wood? Wood to Cunha. If so, who to bench of Marmoush, Isak, Enzo, Semenyo? 50-50 captain Salah, Palmer, defend, or 46k or try to climb rank. Go for whoever you think is going to score more points. I'm going Palmer and hoping for the best. Could be Salah. Wood to Cunha, I would just bench Wood and play the rest of your attackers. They all look pretty good. Jack, I didn't miss that super chat. I said just play Sell. I wasn't sure if you had Sells or Kepa or you were trying to sell Sells, but I think you can just play him. Does it worry you that Palmer only has one return in the last 5 game weeks? I don't have the balls to back him. I'm going with Salah. Good luck. Let me present you Brian Mbeumo. He had 1 goal in 5 game weeks. City, Liverpool, Palace, Spurs, West Ham. 1 goal against Palace. Do you know what he did against Leicester? 14-pointer. You know why? Because he's playing against Leicester. Does that mean that Palmer's going to score a 14-pointer plus? No. But the fact that, I mean, don't get me wrong. In some ways, I kind of wish Palmer had done better recently. I'd probably feel a little bit more confident, but it's not going to make me come off captaincy. Oh, yeah. That's also, yeah. Let me also present you Brian Mbeumo with a bad away record. 3-pointer against Brighton. To be fair, he got 9 points against Chelsea. 2 points against Villa. 3 points against Everton. 3 points against Fulham. 2 points against Man United. Rubbish away form. Boom. Play Southampton. 19-pointer. Now present to a Salah. Yeah, but the point is not... The point is not Salah is bad. The point is, no, I don't care about the fact that Palmer's done rubbish last 5 game weeks. Let me present you Salah. Absolutely ridiculous. Start Utara or Trossard. I go for Utara, I think. Play Milenkovic or Mikalenko. If you've got Mbeumo or Vissa, I'd probably just play Milenkovic. But if not, I guess Mikalenko. Play Semenyo or Isak. Isak. No, I don't want to present you Mr. Munoz because it makes me sad. Is Kudus not a risky option considering he hasn't returned since game week 17? Define risk. Like, he's playing Leicester at home. For what it's worth, I think I've said this so many times. Kudus is one of those players that I think looks better than what the stats show, but I still think he's a nice pun. If you were asking me to like put money on who I think is going to score more points, I'd probably go towards like a Bournemouth midfielder. I feel like my money might be a bit safer, but I feel in like 3 or 4 times out of 10, I might double my money on Kudus. Does that make any sense? Like, I do think Kudus is a bit more of a punt, put it that way. Rodgers and Robinson to Bruno and 8 Nuri -4, or Rodgers to an 8.2 million or less midfielder. I would probably go Rodgers to Bowen and not take the hit. No, Salah getting a rest would be rubbish. Because then everyone just defaults to Palmer captain, right? Do you remember people who send in a lot of super chats so you can then answer their questions without them paying again? For what it's worth, I have never asked for super chats. Like, I don't encourage it or anything like that. So if people want to do it, I appreciate it. But I've never like asked people to do it at all. If I'm honest, there's about 6,000 people watching, and so sometimes you see the same names a lot. But the chance of me catching someone in the chat and thinking they put a super chat in recently, like, it's just not going to happen if I'm being honest. Like, I try and scan the chat and answer stuff that's, I guess, not been answered like hundreds of times. But it's very difficult to do. There's so many comments coming in. Risk starting Gakpo over Utara or Semenyo. Yeah, I think I would. Pick 2 to start out of Munoz, Colwell and Kirkes. Munoz and Carwell, I think, pretty easy. Who to start between Isak and Raul Jimenez? Isak. You lot are commenting without money attached to it. He doesn't talk about that. Yeah, okay, goodbye. Certainly won't be looking at yours anymore. If you tell me Wood or Howson, there will be less chats coming in. I'd play Wood. I don't think Howson Brighton away is not that great, really. Who would you bench among Kluivert, Mbeumo, Utara, Isak? Again, it's Utara or Kluivert, which I feel like is coming up lots of times. I'm just going to keep saying I'll play Utara, but it's a coin flip for me. I now see Salah and Palmer 50-50 for captain everywhere. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, you know, some people will get influenced by others or whatever. Like, is Salah becoming the differential? I doubt it. I mean, maybe among engaged managers. Is it possible to catch someone 130 points heady? Yes. Still plenty of game weeks to go. It's going to be difficult, but definitely possible. If you're gone free hit this week, which 2 strikers would you pick? Money is not an issue. I would pick in 27 2 strikers only. It's a shame Chelsea haven't got a striker. Like as in someone listed as a forward, I mean. You can't even go for a Man United forward either. Honestly, that's really tough. There's not that many good ones. I'd probably say Cunha. I'd probably ignore Isak on free hit and just hope for the best. I'll say Cunha and Marmoush, maybe. Or coughing because my throat is sore and it's still an hour and 8 minutes left. Not a good sign. When should I activate assistant manager and who? Possibly Eddie Howe, 31 to 33. Your graphic is wrong. It's game week 27, not 26. You're right. Thanks for noticing that. Oh, sugar. Almost. Where do I change that? Oh, deadline timer. There you go. Should be updated now. I really don't like Neto as captain. I mean, differential, sure, but I don't think this is the week to... Like, last week was probably the week to chase a differential, like an Burma or Isak, and look how that worked out. I just think Palmer and Salah are so strong, I just wouldn't risk it. There'll be other weeks, I think, where it's better to go for a differential than this week. Struggling between Raya and Flecken. I would play... I'd probably... Chris Wood, always on my mind. I'd probably play Raya, I think. Any reason you're not doing João Pedro to Cunha? Because Welbeck's out. Well, sorry, Welbeck is not definitely out, but Welbeck is a doubt. And so therefore João Pedro should start. And then I'm just hoping for the best. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to wish I just got Cunha. But for now, I'm going to stick. I'm more interested in maybe doing Anderson to Ain't Nuri. I think the problem is I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do in game week 29. And I kind of want to leave the option open of getting Haaland for free, maybe. But it does mean I'm going to have to play Anderson 2 weeks against Wolves away and Brighton away. It's not ideal whatsoever. But it's just one player. It's just one player I'm not happy about. So, I don't know. I think the worst thing... excuse me. The worst thing about not buying Cunha this week is I definitely won't buy him next week either. Gakpo for 2 weeks, then buy a City forward or just buy Cunha. I'd buy Cunha. By the way, I don't think people should be asking me any questions that involve potentially benching Chris Wood, because you know I'm going to say Chris Wood, and you know how well it's gone so far this season. Your deadline clock is wrong. No, I don't think it is. Is there a chance for a double game week for Liverpool in the future? Yes, but I think it's quite unlikely. Hang on a sec. Sorry, where was I? Shouldn't be that worried about Anderson. I mean, the thing is, I've already thought to myself, wouldn't it be amazing if Anderson can get a clean sheet if I don't buy Cunha? But I also thought it'd be amazing if Anderson could get a clean sheet last week and then he scored an own goal against Glasner. Do you have a bench/start graphic you could throw up? If you go to the final thoughts video, there was a section about that. 8 Norrie and Robinson or swap one for Hall or Aina. 8 Norrie and Robinson or swap one. I'm confused. 8 Norrie is the one to play this week. Oh wait, sorry. If you own those 4 defenders, then you're definitely playing 8 Norrie and Robinson. Yeah. Fulham has been the best defense last 6 game weeks. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess fixtures were pretty good. I guess fixtures were mostly good. Yeah. I don't know. I might roll. Bench Eze or Utara. Utara probably, just about. If Captain Palmer, then why not triple captain? I don't... I mean, 1, I've used my triple captain. 2, I don't really get the logic. You could say that every week. If you're captaining this player, why are you not triple captain them? Unless I'm missing something. I well and truly wasted my triple captain. I feel like I don't want to get the violin out because I think 130k really is not that bad at this stage of the season. I can still get a more than respectable ramp. I just feel like everything's been an uphill battle. Like I wasted my triple captain again. Didn't go for Glasner. Never owned Cunha. Never owned Chris Wood. And I get it, right? I could have transferred in those players. I understand that. It just feels like any time I went slightly different, it just didn't quite work out on some of those bigger calls. Like keeping Bruno in the end went really well. But yeah, and Cunha and Chris Wood, just both absolute killers. And the thing is, I turned down the chance to buy Cunha twice, I think. And I was even saying I thought he was a good option at the time, and I just didn't buy him. But yes, you made me think of that after you mentioned triple captain, which I well and truly wasted again. Somehow. How can I be this bad at triple captain? Would you bring in Cunha for Chris Wood? I would if you're going to be well set for 29 anyway. Because I think he is better next 3. 8 Nuri was an utter troll for me earlier on in the season. Scored on my bench versus the likes of Liverpool. Got red cards when I played him. Yeah, I understand that. But I also think Wolves are a little bit better defensively now. Maybe that's wrong, but it feels like they are under prayer a little bit. And you're doing it again. Yeah, why not, eh? Why not? It's not like it's not like woe is me, feel sorry for me. I'm just like, it's just the thing with FPL. Sometimes it's just those little decisions and it just all goes wrong. But I don't think, like, I remember at the time when I bought Raul Jimenez instead of Cunha then went like smashed like 50 goals and Raul Jimenez put up more XG. And I know people will say Cunha's more clinical, blah, blah, blah. Right, fair enough. But it shouldn't be that much difference for the amount. Like everything Cunha touched just turned to gold. It's just like one of those things that was so frustrating. But you're right, I'm doing it again right now. I could literally buy Cunha for João Pedro. I'm turning down the chance. And I probably now won't buy Cunha till 29. I can even see a world where I don't buy Cunha in 29, but let's see. João Pedro or Jimenez? This week, João Pedro. I don't agree that FPL is only luck, but obviously there is some luck. I mean, there has to be, right? It's not like you're in control. I think that's what I've been liking about... I've been playing a little bit of chess recently. I'm terrible, by the way. Like, really, really bad. I'm way worse at chess than I am at FPL, put it that way. That's how bad I am at chess. But, like, there's no one to blame. You lose because you're bad. Like, with FPL, you can make the right call, and sometimes it just goes wrong. Like, this week, for example, and I'm just going to say this now ahead of time, even if you think that Salah is easily the better captain, which I respect, and I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily, if Salah goes and gets 20 points and Palmer blanks, that is seriously bad luck. Like, that's the kind of bad luck you can get. Like, because you've got no control over what they do when they step on the pitch. My point being, if people think Palmer is going to outscore Salah, they must think Palmer is getting 10 plus points. Yeah, I get it. I still don't necessarily think it means you should use your triple captain, though. But, yeah, I mean, it is possible that Salah gets less than 10 points, by the way. It doesn't feel like it's possible right now, but it is possible. Palmer will be a 3-point merchant tonight, quite possibly. Wildcarding in 30. Should I sell Bruno to go to Bowen? I think I'd just keep Bruno, to be honest. Don't have a question. Just wanted to say appreciate your content and attitude towards FPL. Best luck for the rest of the season. Wow, thank you. Thanks for watching. Which goalkeeper, one defender or one midfielder would you play this week? Pickford or Henderson? Henderson. Lewis Hall or Robinson. Rodgers or Wanieri. Yeah. Definitely. Not even any hesitation on all of those. Business Cat, who are you captaining this week, by the way? You still on Salah? Rodgers to Kluivert or Matoma? Kluivert for me, I think. Bench jam is the most infuriating luck aspect of the game. Yeah, but there's some, there's some merit to having a decent bench, right? Otherwise, you would just completely tank your bench and just put all your money in the 11. Play Milenkovic or Hall? Milenkovic. I think Lewis Hall's really bad this week. And I don't think people would be asking these questions about Lewis Hall if you hadn't got the assist last game week. It's Liverpool away. It's like I don't think there is a worse fixture. I don't think there's a worse fixture in FPL this season than Liverpool away for a defender. Have I ever had any funny fan reactions before? No, not really. Salah under the lights at a fired up Anfield, worth captaining. I'm not convinced that Salah's ever worth captaining, to be honest. He's not that good. Play Howson or Mikalenko having Pickford. Yeah, maybe I'll be tempted to go Howson to split the risk. There's not much in it, really. People are mainly captaining Palmer because the Glasner punt worked out. Maybe. But did people mainly go for Glasner because the Unai Emery punt worked out and the David Moyes punt worked out? How's my personal channel going? Probably not. Probably not worth talking about. Bench one from Mateta, Isak, Kluivert, I think. Start Gakpo or Wanieri? Gakpo for me. Evan Nielsen is back. Bye Utara. I think Utara will be fine this week. People only captaining Palmer because he's playing Southampton. You could be right there. What do you think of Trent and Rodgers out to Wan-Bissaka and Palmer? Wan-Bissaka feels so knee-jerky to me. Who have West Ham got afterwards? I know they're not bad fixtures for Bowen. It is Newcastle at home and then Everton. I guess Wan-Bissaka's okay. I like the idea. Oh, I don't like selling Trent, though. If it's for free, maybe, because you get Palmer. Darren, you remember? Thank you. Do you think some people just tuned in at the moment you said, I don't think Salah is ever worth captain, he's not that good, then switched off? Possibly, yeah. Maybe lost a few subscribers. I'm doing a draftman league next season, currently getting the 9th or 10th pick. Who should I draft for next season? Griffith, come on. Come on. Next season. You're not doing the draft now, surely. Start Jimenez over Wood, Isak, or Utara. I'd probably start him over Chris Wood. Daniel, I love the content. Thank you very much. João Pedro, Kluivert, or Utara. Got a bench one. On final thoughts, I had João Pedro below Kluivert and Utara, but I think he's going to start, and he's on penalties. So's Kluivert. I think for safety, you probably start Kluivert and Utara. If you're semi-confident like I am that João Pedro will start, you probably start him, maybe ahead of Kluivert. It's all so close. Coke, Pepsi, or Dr. Pepper? I Coke Zero. I basically drink way too much of. So I'd have to say Coke, but I don't really drink sugary drinks anymore. Really enjoyed the walking video on your channel. It'd be good to see more. I know, but like, how many times can you just see me walk and talk rubbish? I don't know. I don't know. No Coke 00. What's that? I've sold Watkins for Fekonja and Rogers for Kulusevski. Discuss. I probably wouldn't have bought Kulusevski myself, but I don't hate it. I meant interactions. Have you ever had any funny fan interactions in real life? Like, hey, aren't you the bloke who tells me to get Bruno Fernandes? No, again, not really. It's usually just a you, Andy, or something like that. Or like sometimes people, it doesn't happen that often, but sometimes you get someone that's like they know it's definitely you. And so they just say, I'll watch your channel or something like that. It's either, hey, I'll watch your channel, or are you Andy? Or are you Andy FPL, or something like that. No sugar. Oh, no, definitely taking the caffeine. No sugar, fine. No caffeine, not so much. Could you ask Brentford fans here if they think Vandenberg will be available in 29? I mean, there you go. Just have. What does it say on the FPL page? Brentford, Vandenberg, unknown return date. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I can't remember what the last update was about him. Where's Brentford? It's a knee It's like a knee problem. I don't know, honestly. I guess it's unlikely. Game week 29 is not that far away. It's like just over 2 weeks. Closer to 3 weeks, I guess. I don't think anyone's ever moaned at me in real life about players I've made them buy or something like that. Start Jimenez. Oh, yeah, did that one. Yeah. I think I've caught up on all those. Bench one from Mateta, Isak, Kluivert. Probably Kluivert. I think I did that one, though. What do you think your biggest omens are in FPL besides not captaining the player playing first? I don't even pay attention to that, to be honest. I wouldn't say I play with omens, like worrying about omens or whatever. Like if Palmer's got Southampton at home, who's playing in the first fixture and it's the best captain, I'll just captain him. Who would you start, Castagna or Howson? Castagna probably. I don't think I've heard you mention Gordon. What are your thoughts on keeping him for next game week or bench for Utara? I think Gordon can be sold for the most part. But of course, if you've got a team where you can just bench him this week, that's also fine. Like, it's Liverpool away, West Ham away, blank. It's fine to keep him, but I think you can definitely get rid of him if you've got the spare transfer. Ruben Amorim said Dorgu's playing really well in the context that it's really hard, but he's shown a lot of good things. He has the pace, he has the quality, he can play both sides. I think he's fairly nailed, to be honest. Chris Wood has only blanked 4 times at home this season. Feels wrong to me to bench him. 4 times out of what? Like 13 times? Could be 5 out of 14 or so. What family member would you be in the FPL royalty family tree? I don't know. Start Evan Ferguson instead of Enzo. Do you own Evan Ferguson? I mean, he's probably not going to start, right? So I guess you start Enzo. Would you say happy birthday, Tom and Esme? Good luck with the transfers. Just done it. Good luck with the transfers, indeed. Make sure you're getting Bruno Fernandes in. Birthday treat. Starting Burma or Isak. In Burma, I think. Like, I'd start most attackers ahead of Isak. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'd start Isak ahead of most attackers. I'm not sure about in Burma, though. Imagine that. A nice Bruno Fernandes transfer in for your birthday. Sounds good to me. Is Greaves to Colwell worth it? It is if you've got spare transfers. Yeah. To use a popular FPL saying, a Palmer captain is sleeping on Salah. How can anyone sleep on Salah? Like, you'd have to have literally been asleep for 26 game weeks to not know what's going on with Salah this season. Is Salah underrated? No, not in any... Like, in the FPL world, Salah is far from underrated. In the general football world, I don't know if I don't know if Salah's underrated, but I think he's not rated as high as he should be, which I guess is kind of the same thing, but I think underrated means no one rates them, but obviously a lot of people do. Honestly, Salah's one of the greatest to ever do it in the Premier League. Easy. And that's how he'll be remembered once he finally leaves or retires. Am I going to stick with Palmer captain or bottle it? I'm probably just going to stick, yeah. Take a hit to sell Arteta for Glasner. I'd be a little bit tempted to do it. I think could I see Forest getting a draw against Arsenal? Possibly. The reason I hesitate is because it feels like a little bit like I'm only saying that because of what happened last week, but I think I possibly would. Luis Diaz to Eze or Vissa to Mateta. If you're free, I guess Vissa. I wouldn't do either of them. I'd just keep Diaz and Vissa probably. Yeah, neither. If I had to do one, I guess Vissa to Mateta. I don't think it really matters whether Salah's a forward or midfielder. I think his price just needs to go up. Igor, Bowen captain over Palmer, Mandus or worth a shot. I'm not sure it's mad, but I think Palmer is better. Start Hall or Greaves or take a -4. If so, who's the best defender under 5.4? Not free hitting in 29, already have Munoz. I'd probably... Do you know what? I'd probably start Greaves ahead of Lewis Hall. Yeah. Nah, do you know what? Lewis Hall, in your case, I'd maybe take a -4 for someone like Ait-Nouri. Maybe, but otherwise just play Lewis Hall. That's probably the most sensible play. Bench one, Gakpo, Semenyo or Kluivert. Semenyo, Alisson or Fabianski start. I go Alisson, right? Here's the thing. For any other goalkeeper, I would be tempted to start Fabianski and hope that he gets a start. And if not, it doesn't matter because he'll just go onto your bench later on. But Areola has already gone off during a game this season, and he went off during a game twice in the league last year. He is just one of those goalkeepers that seems to pick up a bit of an injury. So I'd probably just play Alisson for safety. Imagine if you play Fabianski and then he comes on for less than 60 minutes and gets a 1-pointer. It'd just be annoying. Aina, Lewis Hall, Mikalenko, Robinson start 2. Probably Mikalenko and Robinson. Got 2 free transfers on free hit 29. Watkins to Cunha, Lewis Hall to Ait-Nouri, but also want Bowen or Kluivert. Do I take a -4 for Rodgers for one of these? It depends who you're benching, but probably not. Negatives of free hit 29. Your team might not need it, and it might be more useful later on. Already own Odegaard, get Rashford in, or right. I would not buy Rashford. Might not even start, right? I suspect he's pushing closer to a start, but I don't know if I would put a huge amount of money on it. Like, I suspect he probably will start, but I wouldn't buy him. Bench Utara, Semenyo, Isak, Watkins or Vissa. Semenyo probably out of those. Rodgers' replacements under 6.5 and Kunku Garnacho. I wouldn't buy... Like, Garnacho surely is going to start. I think he has to start, but the fact he was benched last week would probably really put me off. So maybe Neto or Nkunku, yeah. Or if you want to play it safe, go Bournemouth. Sell Gakpo or sell Rodgers for Nkunku. Info Gakpo. I'd probably keep Gakpo and sell Rodgers. Bench Pickford for Fabianski, currently 282k. Yeah, I just kind of answered that. I'd probably play Pickford, just in that small chance that Areola gets injured, which has happened before. He probably won't, but also it's very unlikely Fabianski will start anyway. I suspect it will just be Areola again. Gakpo to Cunha, Rodgers, Lewis and Greaves on bench. I think you could just play Gakpo, honestly, but I don't, to be honest, I don't mind the Gakpo to Cunha move for the next 3 weeks. Lewis Diaz to Bruno, Watkins to Cunha, crazy? No, not crazy. I'm not sure you need to make either of those moves, but I wouldn't call them crazy. By Dorgu, Cucurella or Gabriel. Obviously, money makes a difference later. I still like Gabriel, though, to be honest. Cucurella is not bad for the 2 home games. I think Dorgu... It really depends on whether Cucurella in 29 or Dorgu in 28 is going to be a problem. Whereas Gabriel, you just buy and you just play every week. Do we start moving on blank game week players like the likes of Salah, Trent, Watkins from our teams right away to avoid any price drops? Or do we, I think you sell them when it makes most sense for your team and don't worry about the price drops. Like Salah and Trent literally have Southampton next week. What Liverpool treble ups are tempting? I would say none because they're just transfers back out. But I guess Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah maybe would be quite nice right now. Which keeper will start for Chelsea? Jorgensen, I'm pretty sure. Or, like Jorgensen, I think will definitely still be first choice. But Maresca has rotated in these easier games before. So if Jorgensen's now first choice, does that mean that Sanchez gets rotated in? Who knows? But I suspect Jorgensen will start. Raul Jimenez to Cunha or Rogers to Bowen or Roll. Rogers to Bowen seems quite nice to me. Does it make sense to hold on to Salah and Isak during the blank game week? It probably makes sense to hold one, yeah, at least. Maybe both. Especially if you've got lots of money tied up in them. What happens if your assistant manager has a blank? No points. Trent chances of not playing in 28 due to Champions League. There's probably a chance, but who's going to play instead? It would basically mean that Kwanzaa is playing. If Kwanzaa's playing, that means that Konate's not getting a break either. I guess they could play Kwanzaa and Endo. I just don't see it. I think they'll both play. Maybe come off early. But there is potential for Trent to be benched in 28, but I don't think it's that high. If it does happen, though, I'm in trouble with my bench, I think. Bench 1, Wood, Sarr, Cunha. Wood, yeah. Beto or Wanyeri. Play Beto this week, I think. If you don't use the free hit in 29, when would you? Probably 34 or maybe in a double, depending on how the rest of the fixtures go. Yeah. 43 minutes to the deadline, by the way. Make sure to give the stream a like if you're enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button as well. Would you hold Isak if you have 0.4 million wrapped up in him? Or sell him for Haaland in 29? The thing is, right, Isak will go down in price, I reckon, at least once. If you've got 0.4 wrapped up in him, suddenly that's only 0.3. And Haaland captain could be big, so I'd consider it. Konza or Mikalenko, I'd probably play Konza at home. Sorry, no, Konza's away, isn't he? I guess Konza's still in your case. How many times have you rolled this season? There's an easy way to check. You can check my transfer history on the FPL page. I've rolled quite a few times. Oh yeah, it is 443,000 subscribers. You're right. Let me just change that. If enough of you hit the button, we could maybe get to 444 by the end of the stream. Probably not, but you know, you can ask. I've played João Pedro 8 times. He's got me 13 points total. I've benched him 4 times. He scored 31 points. I know. And look, I'll tell you now. I'm gonna be talking next week about how I should have just got Cunha. I can tell you already. Excuse me. I think it's quite unlikely the deadline stays open again, but we'll see. Do you think Cunha captain is a valid choice? Not really when we've got the likes of Palmer and Salah. Jordan, I've already answered that, by the way. No way. Someone's just said that Howson has done his ACL. Hang on, let me have a look. Hang on. Yeah, FPL Schofield, who's a Bournemouth fan, has just retweeted something about Howson has torn his ACL, but the account I don't recognise the account at all that he's quoting, so I'm not sure how legit it is. That'd be nuts, though. Hopefully that's not true. Really bad injury. Also, if that is true, hang on, what? Yeah, the deadline's not going to stay open. If Howson's out, they've also got Zabani out as well. That'd be nuts. But that means it would have happened today, right? Because they've had a press conference. Oh, no. Press conference yesterday, wasn't it? Where's all this Welbeck stuff coming from? Start 2 of Semenyo, Clivert, or João Pedro. I'm going to say, for safety, I think it's Semenyo and Clivert. Do. Rogers to Neto or play Raul Jimenez and roll. I'd probably roll. Play Raul Jimenez. Who are the best 3 forwards to own right now? Probably Haaland, if you can afford. Well, maybe not Haaland, actually. Cunha. I mean, because of the blank, I guess not Isak. Cunha, Visser, Amar Mouche, maybe something like that. But no one should be getting rid of Isak. Late riser oddly excited about Oscar Bob. Why is he back? Captaining Palmer is nuts to me. Like, he's playing Southampton. Palmer is a quality player. I don't think you can say it's nuts. It's fine if you don't want to captain him, but I don't think you class it as nuts. Bowen should be on penalties, yeah. Oscar Bob's back. Okay. He's been out for a while, right? Yeah. Maybe for 29, I suppose. Yeah, possibly. Out of form, bad team, strats, not nuts, but I think Salah's better. Yeah, then you should captain Salah. Yeah, but Paquetá's injured, though. Ah, come on. You're I'm sorry to say, you're talking absolute nonsense. Too many Man United fans or FPL content creators make Salah underrated at times. Seriously, are people really trying to say that Salah is underrated in FPL? If anything, you've got a lot of Man United fans talking up a Liverpool player constantly. Are people sleeping on Oscar Bob? Probably. Rightly so. Which Man United centre forward would you pick as a punt? Probably Højlund, but I just wouldn't. Well, I guess maybe Xerxes. Probably getting more minutes at the moment. Honestly, I would highly urge you to avoid Man United. I guess Xerxes. Bench 1, Isak, Cunha, Mateta or Clivert. Probably Clivert from them, but that's a pretty tough decision. I'd buy Semenyo over Utara, yeah, if you can. Start Utara or Raul Jimenez. Ooh, I'm gonna say Utara. Thoughts on Bruno captain as a differential? Again, I think there's tiers to captaincy this, right? So I think you've got Palmer and Salah right at the top, and then quite a bit down, you've then got players like Bruno and Bowen. They're good differentials, but they're not good enough, in my opinion, to go for. Play Gabriel or Cash. Already have Raya. Gabriel. How am I feeling about my own team? Pretty good apart from Anderson, I think. And the fact I'm not buying Cunha, and that's gone wrong for me already this season. I'm talking about captaincy, right? No one's captaining Bowen. Or most people aren't. Rohan, goodbye. Last season, everyone was hating on Andy for bias. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I've been called a Liverpool fan before for how much I've talked about Salah. Like, honestly, you can't win with people on the internet. There's always someone that wants to moan about something. Gabriel, Kirkes, 8, Nuri, and Trent, bench 1. Kirkes, easy. Are you not worried about João Pedro or Welbeck in the squad? Who's saying that Welbeck's in the squad? Where's that news come from? Isn't he a doubt? Did I miss something? What video? Oh, no. What video? Oh, come on, Brighton. Give me a break. Oh, I see it. Oh, no. He's in the squad. Oh, that's annoying now. Okay, I take it all back. If you've got like a Cliver, Utara, and João Pedro, I'd probably just bench João Pedro for safety. I think I might just get Cunha now. Yeah, João Pedro to Cunha is back on. João Pedro's so annoying. So annoying. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Do we just sell João Pedro if not free hitting in 29? Yeah, maybe. I've got the spare transfers to do it and just buy João Pedro. Can someone just go and find out what the team is? Oh. Big up the chat for highlighting it. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, the thing is, I still suspect that João Pedro will start, but my prediction would be João Pedro to start, but is it worth the risk? I was kind of like so happy with the idea of rolling or just buying 8 in a row. I might just buy Cunha and be done with it. What's Cunha going to block for me next week? The only thing is next week then I've got to bench one of Utara or Wanyeri, but that's probably not an issue. I'm going to have to... Hang on a sec. I'm just going to change... I'm going to change the news. I might buy Cunha. Might buy Cunha. Where's KSI? I already need the team news. I'm not sure. On Britain's Got Talent. Beto or Wanyeri to play. I'd probably go Beto. Bench 1 would Cunha. Would start 2 of Semenyo, Clive or João Pedro. Bench João Pedro. Roger Soneto will play Raul Jimenez and roll. Probably play Raul and roll. Bench 1 Isaac, Cunha, Mateta or Clive. Probably Clive. Thoughts on... Oh, no, I did these ones. Jesus. Start 2 Isaac, Mateta, Vissa. I'd probably bench Vissa. Cunha, Rogers, Utara, Clive at bench 1. Probably Rogers. Yeah, probably Rogers, I think. Especially when he's just out. Yeah, Rogers because he's out for sure. Is there any reason not to buy Cunha? What's the reason to not buy Cunha? That we get some kind of amazing information before game week 28. I've got the money. João Pedro's not that... Like, the problem is... There's a world where João Pedro just starts the next 3 game weeks, but there's also a world where it's just a headache every week. I'm not drinking just... Well, I am drinking tap water, but it's got cherries and berries in it as well. Bench Enzo or Foden. Enzo, I think. For people that are... There's a lot of questions about if I'm not free hitting in 29, when should I use it? Honestly, just don't worry about it right now. Because the answer will come when we know the double game weeks after game week 30. Quad strength, yeah. Yeah, I think if someone said to me you have to bet money on who's going to start, I would suspect that João Pedro will start. I just don't know if it's worth this constant headache. I'm going to have exactly like next week. It's not such a problem. Well, it's not even a problem this week. I could just play Wanyeri. I could still roll. I could just bench João Pedro again. But I can't really see a good reason not to get Cunha. He's got Southampton away in 29. Is it overthinking at this stage? I can play Wanyeri, but Cunha's better, right? Like here's the thing for me is right. I'm definitely not free hitting in 29. I've made too many moves to now free hit. It makes no sense whatsoever for my team. And Cunha's got Southampton away that week, so like I get a guaranteed starter this week against Fulham at home. Yes, okay, he's playing against Anderson. It's not that great. Southampton away is good in 29. It's Everton at home in 28. Like what's the problem? I'm not playing Fabianski because I don't trust Areola not to get injured. If João Pedro gets another 20 pointers, so be it. Like basically, João Pedro is going on the list. He's going on the list with Darwin and Ederson. Never again. Start Sarah or Clivert for me. Cunha and 8 Nuri for Njai and Gabriel -4. I probably wouldn't take a -4 for Gabriel, to be honest. Don't know why my throat's so sore. Bench one of Aina or Robinson Aina. Maybe this was a maybe switching off my DMs on Twitter was the wrong thing to do. Maybe someone would be sending me the Brighton team right now. I've got Milenkovic, Robinson, Kanate, Ashley Young. Who should I sell and who to buy? Well, I would just play Kanate, Robinson probably. I mean, I would buy 8 Nuri. And I guess I would sell... I'd probably sell Milenkovic, to be honest. Well... Yeah, I don't know who I would sell. Because Milenkovic got Ipswich in 29. Kanate doesn't have a fixture, but Kanate is pretty good for the next two. I'd buy 8 Nuri. I'm not sure who I would sell, though. Hang on a sec. Is Ashley Young even started at the moment? I don't think he is, right? So even though he's got... Yeah, I'd sell Ashley Young. Easy. I think I'm like 75% sure to buy Cunha now. Just to put it out there. I can't think of a good reason not to do it. Like, when we thought Welbeck was a doubt... The thing is, Welbeck is probably still a doubt. He could just be on the bench. But he also just might not be. AJ, thank you for becoming a member. Bench 1, Semenyo, Clive, Mateta, Marmouche, Gakpo. Have a bottle of water on me, thank you. I'd bench Semenyo probably. Why not Greaves and Munoz, even if a -4 or only 10 in 29? I think Munoz is good. I'm not sure he's that good. Bench 1 of Aina or Robinson Aina. Again, I think with that kind of thought process, we're starting to big Munoz up a bit too much, even though I think he is great. Welbeck looks very happy in the Brighton video. He does, extremely happy, like a guy who knows he's starting. João Pedro's been the most underwhelming player this year. I probably wouldn't disagree with that too much. And like Cunha is just one of the best forwards for 29, right? There's no debate around that. Like I'm not trying to talk myself out of it. I'm just trying to make sure there's something I haven't considered. Like if he's fit, Haaland's probably the best forward in 29. Who's the second best? Chris Wood or Cunha, right? They're probably the top three. Like Marmouche could do well, Visser could do well. Beto could be quite good against West Ham. Delap could be good against Forest, but I think if you were saying right now the 3 forwards to own in 29, most people would probably say Haaland, Wood, and Cunha. I think. Like I definitely see a world where when we get to 29, people that don't own Cunha might just buy Marmouche instead as a differential. I quite like that, to be honest. Maybe I just go Marmouche this week. But Marmouche is definitely differential for the sake of it, because I don't truly believe that Marmouche is better than Cunha. But Spurs away, Forest away, Brighton at home could be decent. The Marmouche punt does just sound nice when you say it out loud. Yeah, I'm pretty locked on Palmer captain, but I'm pretty calm about it. I don't like. I know sometimes I last minute panic about transfers and stuff. I really don't think that's going to happen here. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to captain Palmer. Yeah, I do agree about Marmouche looking good. But is he better than Cunha? Maybe. Yeah, I've seen that house and rumour. Do I just play Wanyeri? Why captain in Palmer? What happened to Salah? Nothing. Salah's really good. I've been stuck at 18k for a long time. Would a Palmer captaincy prove to be a differential? He probably is a bit of a differential, yeah. By the way, 18k is very good. I wouldn't be panicking too much. I'd be very happy if I was ranked 18k. Why the headphones? I always wear headphones on stream. I'm just wearing a different pair. And also they're wireless. Look, I can move my head wherever I want. Did they get rid of the FPL Cup? No, I the only time I ever talk about the Cup is when someone asks me about it. Otherwise, I forget it's even a thing. When I was at Southampton on Saturday, Brighton journalists were saying Welbeck was fit enough to make the squad but was being deliberately rested for Tuesday. But does that mean he starts? Who knows? Who knows indeed. I mean, you don't need Welbeck for Southampton, do you? So there could be some truth in that. Oh, earphone headphones, yeah. Yeah, I know. I got these recently, so I thought I'd just use them now. They're quite nice. I don't know if they're as good as the price suggests they should be, but they're not bad either. I suspect I probably need some software to make them better or something. Target rank, number 1, probably. Numero uno in the world. Getting Cunha will clear that headache. Not if Wanyeri absolutely smashes it. I would get Cunha. You'll want him for 29, so may as well go early. Yeah, maybe I actually get some price rises out of him as well at some point. Still can't get over how fast you type. I don't think I'm that fast, but I guess I have... Like, I'm on a computer a lot, let's be honest. Would it be wise to get rid of Chris Wood for Vissa in order to get Bowen? I don't know if I really like that all that much. I don't hate it, but it doesn't stand out as a great option. I've got Wood, Mateta, Vissa, Mbeumo, Palmer, Salah, Clive. But would it be worth changing a forward for Cunha? I think you've already got a pretty good team. I don't think you need to make another transfer to it. Gordon and Lewis Hall out for Mbeumo and Aït-Nouri, just the Gordon to Mbeumo move. I like both of those if they're for free. I think they're really good moves for 29. I think you're making a big mistake starting Wanyeri. I'm not starting him, though. He's on the bench. That's probably where he's going to stay. Oh, instinctive. Brighton fan. His confidence in his João Pedro starts gone from 75 to 60%. The Welbeck stuff is spooking everyone. Welcome, Mateus Cunha. I think. Bench 1, Utara, Wood, João Pedro, or go João Pedro to Cunha. I'd be tempted to make that move and bench Chris Wood. Yeah, if João Pedro gets another... the thing is, I kind of really wanted to watch... I kind of wanted to watch the Brighton-Bournemouth game because I would have had João Pedro and Utara. But now I've got Utara in one game. I've got Watkins another. I'm probably going to have Cunha in another one. I guess I watch Cunha maybe. But it's going to frustrate me when he doesn't score every single shot he takes like earlier on in the season. Yeah, they're wireless. They're just very big. They're quite comfy though. Considering I've been wearing them for nearly 2 hours. I did Gordon and João Pedro to Cunha and Bowen. That sounds really nice. What's your latest on Salah versus Palmer captaincy? I'm going to stick to Palmer. I kind of said that the whole way through. Who to start, Isak or Wood? Isak, Mikalenko or Mikalenko? By the way, I could not I could go from Wanyeri to like a Bournemouth midfielder instead of getting Cunha, but I probably won't. Play either Hall or Mikalenko or -4 for €8. I play Mikalenko. Thoughts on benching Rodgers for Elanga? I don't hate that. I would be tempted to make a transfer if you got a free one though. I've lost 3 pairs of earbuds. Don't know whether to buy more. I've got AirPods as well for like when I go out walking and stuff, and I've never really had an issue with losing them at all. They do sometimes fall out, but yeah, never even come close to losing them. Don't think. Because like these are nice when you're like in the office, but like, I wouldn't wear these if I was like walking or doing couch to 5K or something like that. Should I bench João Pedro or Van Dijk? I'm going to say João Pedro. I think Van Dijk's all right this week. Kieran, 28 months, thank you very much. Start 8 Nuri or Castani. It's got to be 8 Nuri. Why not use AirPods for the stream if they're wireless? It's a good question. I guess I've got nothing to... Like, these are streaming to their own... These are linked to their own like wireless system that's like USB. I don't think I've got Bluetooth on the computer for the AirPods. Watkins to Cunha, or go Watkins next to then Cunha. Yeah, I'd be happy to keep Watkins for 2, I think. 3 of Trent, Gabriel, Cucurella, 8 Nori. That's actually... So I definitely play Trent, definitely play Cucurella. So it's 8 Nuri versus Gabriel. I would probably play Gabriel. I think he's that good. Will you let the man wear whatever headphones he wants? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Enzo in for a hit or play Wanyeri. Definitely play Wanyeri. Got Salah and Cunha, Robinson and Hall. Hall to 8 Nuri for a hit or play Robinson. Definitely just play Robinson, I think. You need a chief technology officer. Do you think they would get me a new computer? Because that's what I'm trying to get at the moment. Hopefully I'm getting closer to picking one up or getting one delivered. Start Munoz or Robinson? Definitely Munoz. No questions asked, apart from the question you just asked. Bench 1, Utara Wood. 27 months, thank you very much. Bench 1. Bench 1 defender. Milenkovic, Lewis. I've not really, I'll be honest, I've not really been keeping track massively. Has Lewis been starting a lot recently? I know he started the last game against Liverpool. I guess they haven't really got too many options right now. Yeah. Spurs away, Arsenal at home, Brentford. I guess I start Mikalenko and I'm going to say Lewis. And do you know, I don't know about that though. I'm going to say Lewis and Milenkovic is who I play. I think. That's quite a tough one though. Gakpo to Cunha for a free transfer. I'd probably keep Gakpo, but I really don't mind that move. Because there is a chance Gakpo doesn't start. Cunha is good for 29. So yeah, I quite like it. I think it's fine if you've got a free transfer. Bench one of Utara, Enzo, Isak. Probably Enzo, but I don't like it. Anderson to 8 Nuri or Gabriel to 8 Nuri to free up money to upgrade Rodgers before the blank. Probably Anderson to 8 Nuri because I think Gabriel's pretty good next 3. Find money elsewhere if you can. Don't forget your sleeper picks. I think there was another 2 people that got 9 last week, so I'm going to do the draw after this. Rodgers to Matoma for free or roll to bank a transfer. If you're not having to play Rodgers, I'd probably just roll. I think Matoma with City away in 29 is not amazing either. Keep or sell Van Dijk? I'd definitely keep. Southampton next week. Rodgers to Bowen or in Burmo for the next 5 weeks. Okay, hang on. Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. I think Bowen. The only thing I would say is there is a chance that when Paquetá's back, Bowen will just lose. Like if Paquetá comes back before those 5 game weeks are up, that Bowen might be off penalties. I think the fact that I like Bowen right now because he's on pens and he's got Leicester. I'd probably say Bowen still, but 5 weeks is probably a little bit closer. It's already quite close though, to be honest. Why not start Fabianski on the off chance he starts? Basically, because in the last 2 seasons, Areola's got injured 3 times. and had to come off during a game. That's basically it. Bench 1, Gabriel, Robinson or Howson. Howson out of those. I stunned you with the Lewis as an option. I just haven't seen Rico Lewis in many squads recently. Any chance I get advice for the second part? Roll the free transfer or sell Rodgers. Already have... Oh, sorry. Did I miss that? Already have Palmer and Burma, Clive at Salah, Marmoush, Isak, Wood. I'd probably roll the free transfer. You could do Rodgers to... Like, I don't know, actually. I tell you what. Rodgers to Bowen and bench Chris Wood. Sounds quite nice to me. Isak or Utara, Isak. Sells or Pickford. I'd probably start Sells. Please don't spam. I'll try and get to as many questions as possible. And I've just answered that one. Is double Bournemouth midfielder still viable? Yes. I'm an assistant manager. I've got Emery. I have one free transfer. Do I change or roll? I would change. I'd go for the table bonus with a free transfer this week. Have I heard about the House and ACL rumour? I've seen FPL Schofield. Like, FPL Schofield I definitely trust. So presumably the person they're quote tweeting they also trust. But I don't know that account. Would you sell Isak for Marmoush? No, don't think so. Why am I starting Pickford over Fabianski? Fabianski's just not starting at the moment. Like, he's not first choice goalkeeper. Any team news? Is there a chance that Evan Nielsen starts? I guess there's a chance, but I really don't see it. I think he'll be on the bench again. If Palmer blanks tonight, it's hell until tomorrow night. Yes, 100%. Like, basically, tonight now, this is how it's going to go. Actually, it's not going to be too bad if I own Cunha. But basically, I'm going to be watching Wolves. Cunha's going to blank. I'm going to get a goal alert that João Pedro scored. And then I'm going to spend all my time at 8:15 onwards just hoping that Palmer doesn't blank. Because, like, I think most people watching are probably sane people that understand that maybe it's quite close between the two. But that's not what the narrative will be once it happens. Yeah, Praz is starting as benching João Pedro. I sent him the Welbeck thing, but I think he'd already seen it. Luka Dean to 8 Nuri, bench Kanata, Gabriel for him. No, I just played Gabriel, I think. Are you still 90% Salah captain like you said in your video? No, I'm sticking to Palmer. If Howson is injured, I'll take that as a sign I was meant to free hit in 29. But the thing is, if he's out for a long time, he's still going to be out after your free hit. Bench 1, Clive, Isak, the inevitable Wood. Wood. I think last time I said that I would bench Wood, like, as much as I've said it today, he scored. Just saying. Who to get instead of Milenkovic? Budget's 5.2. Probably 8 Nuri. All right, 11 minutes to go. I just say now, I am probably 99% sure that I'm buying Cunha. I'm just going to wait until the last minute, because who knows? Maybe we get a leak that João Pedro is starting or something like that. Any reason to start 8 Nuri over the likes of Gabriel, Trent and Munoz? You could maybe argue to start him over Gabriel because Gabriel's away, but Arsenal defence is just so good. I find that really hard. I quite like the fact that I'm going to buy Cunha now, because it means in 29, when I sell Trent to get money, the defender I buy will be useful. So I could do Trent to 8 Nuri, and then Isak to Beto and Watkins to Haaland. So that it opens up the Haaland option as well. And basically now, if I buy Cunha, there's... Wait, what is that? There's 11 days until the next deadline, and I'm just cruising because I'm going to roll unless I get an injury. And so I don't really have anything to worry about now until Game Week 29. Easy. FPL's easy as that. There'll be nothing to worry about. No injuries, no suspensions. You know how it is. If you've got Glasner already, I would just keep him. Easy. Save a transfer. Utara to Bowen for a -4. I wouldn't do that, no. Would I start Gabriel or Vardy? Gabriel. After that comment about Gakpo to Cunha, I think I'm also on the Cunha train. Yeah. I wouldn't do it for a -4, but if you've got the spare transfer, I really don't mind it, because the hope would be that Gakpo starts against Southampton, but he just might not. Would you sell Chris Wood for Marmoush? Spurs bad defence? Probably not. I quite like just holding Chris Wood for 29. I've got in Burma and Damsgaard. Should I play both or bench Damsgaard? It depends who you're benching for. Please stop spamming, though. Like every time you've got a question, you keep spamming it. I can't tell you whether to bench Damsgaard because I don't know who you're benching him for. Marmoush Fekonja for free. No. If you got Marmoush, you're just keeping him. João Pedro's not starting. Praz took him out. Praz benched him. He didn't sell him. And he only did it because of the Welbeck stuff. He doesn't have information about João Pedro or not. He's just doing it based on the Welbeck thing. Mo, I missed your super chat. Let me see. Did I? I might have done. Watkins, Gakpo, Isak, Cunha. I don't mind Gakpo to Cunha. 3 free. I missed a few actually. Yeah, 3 free transfers. Sell Semenyo, Utara, Sarr for Bowen or Roll. I don't mind Sarr to Bowen, but Sarr has got Ipswich at home next week. But Bowen's good till 29, and he's got Leicester at home this week. So I'd be tempted by that if you can do it for free in one move. Start Greaves, Hall or Mikalenko. Bench Clive or Wanieri. Probably Wanieri. Jamie, thanks. Utara to Matoma for free. No, I wouldn't sell him. Utara should start, I think. Start Rodgers or Welbeck. Ooh. Who's more likely to start? I'm going to say... Sorry, I just got a message. Not about FPL. I don't know. They're both doubts. I guess Welbeck because he's at home. And he looked quite happy in that video. I really don't know. Probably Welbeck. One free transfer. I'll free hit 29. Gakpo to Cunha, Mateta or Rodgers to Neto. Oh, if you free hit 29, I quite like the Mateta route. Arteta out from Maresca in for a hit. I'd probably go Glasner. But yeah, I don't mind either. I think for a hit, it's probably worth it. I think there is a chance that Arsenal might get held to a draw. Should I start Gakpo or Utara? I'm going to say Gakpo, but it's quite close. I suspect they'll both start, but there's probably slight doubts about both as well. How long we got left? 7 minutes. I've got to make my transfer. I'm probably definitely almost certainly definitely going to do Jabo to Cunha. Is there any significant team/player news? The only thing is Brighton released a video of the squad at the ground tonight and Welbeck was in there. So potentially it makes João Pedro a little bit more doubtful to start. There is every chance João Pedro just still starts, by the way. It's probably more likely that he does than doesn't. But also, how many people actually own João Pedro? Next level FPL, judging whether a player starts based on their expression on their face when entering the tunnel. And also, by the way, players can't really be unhappy in that situation because it's all being filmed. They know it's going on social media, so they've got to try and be happy, otherwise they'll get moaned at. Am I nuts to say Welbeck looks too casual? Casual because he knows he's sitting on the bench, possibly. Harry, thank you. Would you start Robinson home to Wolves, away to Wolves, or Konza away to Palace? I'd start Robinson. Robinson's away, remember, but yeah, Robinson. Can we get a segment of Andy's pessimistic predictions on what? Look, I'm very good at being pessimistic. Let me know what you want me to be pessimistic about. I can probably do it. I feel like there's been like a release of happiness. Is it endorphins because I know I'm about to be freed from the João Pedro trap after so many weeks. Omar, 26 months, thank you. Should I play Raul Jimenez or Isak? Isak for me. Harry was in the chat earlier confirming Welbeck start. That was a fake account. That's why I blocked it straight away. But 14 months, thank you. Thinking about captaining Salah this week and Palmer next week to try and claw back points. It doesn't make any sense to me. You should... Oh, sorry, Leicester at home, yeah. Maybe, but honestly, I'd probably like Salah's. I would just go Palmer then Salah for Southampton at home. Play 2, Tara, Semenyo, Jimenez, probably the 2 Bournemouth lads, I think. Be pessimistic about Salah's chance to start. Nah, that's impossible. Come on, I'm only human. There's only so much. I can be pessimistic about a lot of stuff, not that. You should play Fabianski just in case he plays. What if Areola gets injured? Top Andy for top 10k feels sure the happiest version in so many years. Top 1k or 10k. What do you mean? As in, I'll be happier if I'm top 5k. 4 minutes 38 seconds of the deadline. Make sure to give the stream a like, please, before you jump off. Hit that subscribe button as well. It's going to be funny when we all captain Palmer and then start crying and moaning when Salah obviously outscores him. Yeah, the worst thing about Palmer not doing well is just I just won't want to watch that Liverpool game tomorrow. I just won't be able to watch it, as sad as that sounds. What odds do you give to Areola injured and Palmer Hall? Areola injured, probably like less than 1%. Palmer Hall, I'm going to say 99%. Little bit of sarcasm there, but it's more likely that Palmer Halls than Areola gets injured, that's for sure. Take a huge chance and drop Watkins to Cunha and Utara to Fernandes. Nah, that's for a hit. Been asking this for 20 minutes. Start Enzo or Minter. I can only answer that when you've been asking it for 21 minutes, I'm afraid. What decision have you most regretted in your FPL career? Starting playing? No, I can't say that because I obviously make videos and I don't know, really. You would start watching if Trent scores. No, not really. Because then he's already scored. I wouldn't be expecting a second goal. Start Aït-Nouri or Wanieri. Wanieri. You've been messaging for 10 minutes. Nice, thanks for that. Yeah, Cunha, I'm going to buy Cunha. I kind of like the fact that I'm going to be freed from Cunha. From João Pedro. And I'm expecting Cunha to do exactly what he's done all season, which is basically score from every shot he takes. And then get bonus points every time. If he doesn't get me a return this week, I swear to God, come on, get me a goal, please. What about change Emery to the Wolves manager? You could do that. I think I prefer Glasner, but they're both good. Mikalenko to Colwell or Aït-Nouri. I would go Aït-Nouri, I think, just about. Did you see the Fantasy Football Hub suggesting that Felix is going to start? Yeah, it was just a mistake. It was just the wrong player used. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Bench Pickford or Flecken? Pickford. No Haaland news. He's just a doubt. Cunha probably will blank. Can't wait to moan about my decision to hold Palmer for the last 5 weeks for those next two captain blanks. You're going to captain him next week as well. Right, there's no more news. I think I've got to buy Cunha. I think I'm going to buy him. And then if João Pedro starts, so be it. If he doesn't start, I'm happy out. Imagine if João Pedro gets another 12-pointer and Cunha blanks. Like, I just... She just needs to stop playing this game. It's not good for your health, I don't think. There's no good like, what am I going to be blocked from next week? All that money lost as well on him, by the way. I'd have 0.2. The problem is, by the way, I wouldn't really be able to buy anyone. Like, Anderson to a 4.4 just doesn't really work. I couldn't even do Mikalenko to Aït-Nouri if I wanted to. So I'm kind of stuck with this defence. That's the only problem. I'm going to have to play Anderson and Mikalenko. I can't play Mikalenko next week because he's playing against Cunha. Anyway, I've only got a minute left. Yeah, I'm basically rolling next week. I'm going to have to, unless I get an injury or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I could talk myself into something. Captain Delap versus United. I probably wouldn't do that. No. Like, Man United are bad. I don't know if they're that bad. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Done. Points, pick team. Remember, we've still got probably another half an hour for the deadline based on last week. Captain Palmer, Vice Captain Salah, locked in. I'm locked. Cunha's in. Cunha in. Vice Captain Salah, Captain Palmer, hope for the best. Anderson. It was either Anderson versus Cunha or double Everton versus Burma. It didn't really matter. Well, I watched the Brighton game. João Pedro start. I don't know now. I've got Utara still, so maybe. That's it. We're locked in. Let's see if the deadline actually locked. It did lock. Well done, FPL. We'll find out in a minute if João Pedro starts. FPL did actually close it this time. They did. They did indeed. Let me just do random. I just need to do the sleeper draw for game week 26. I think 2 people got 9. Let me just find their names. I should have set this up before the stream, but there was only 2 people, so I didn't bother. Pick them. I'm feeling pretty good about Palmer captaincy right now. Ask me again in 4 hours how I feel, and I might be a little bit different. But we'll see. Ran a complex expected value calculation for captaincy. Okay. Salah 44% higher captain index than Palmer for this game week. Prayer also an option. I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. Who cares if the deadline delayed? It happened for everyone, not like anyone got an advantage. I kind of agree. I think people made such a big deal out of it for no reason. And there's when something like that happens, there's always people that are like, they've got to acknowledge it. They've got to acknowledge it. I can't believe they haven't acknowledged it. What will it change? It changes nothing. Oh, we acknowledge the deadline didn't close in time. Okay, brilliant. That's changed my life massively now. M Bartels 20, M Bartels 20, and I66. Yeah, 2 people got 9 predictions. I always feel a bit harsh having to do a draw when there's 2 people on 9, but you know, rules are rules and life sucks, so you just gotta live with it. Let me just do this. Okay, so if I just go there. So this is for the sleeper draw for game week 26. If you want to get involved for game week 27, get your predictions in before the matches start later on today. Link in the description below. M Bartels 20. I'll be messaging you just after this stream, probably, asking for your email address to send the voucher. If anyone's messaging me back their email address and I haven't yet sent it, don't panic. I will do it. Don't panic too much. But there you go. That's the sleeper draw. If you want to play in the Let's Talk FPL Pick'em League, make sure to hit that link in the description below and get it downloaded and set up. The only thing I've seen about Howson is the same thing that everyone else has seen. They say that they'd like a tweet from FPL saying sorry would make them happy. They just moan about the tweet. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry that you had extra time to make your transfers, just like everyone. I don't know. Like, it shouldn't happen, but also like it's really not. I don't know. I just don't really care about that kind of stuff. Maybe I should care more because I make FPL content, but like the deadline was open for a bit of extra time. Like it really didn't hurt anyone. It's a bit like it would be a bit different if it was open for some people and not others. And I get it, right? We had team sheets. We could have made changes based on that, but like whatever. I like Andy's laid back nature. You get it. People over wine. Yeah, I do sometimes think I'm maybe too laid back. Like I should care about stuff a bit more in general, but like stuff like that, like whatever. Honestly. Oh no, Ben Krellin. Wait, what does that mean? What's he done? Is he captain Salah? Nah, he would have captain Palmer, I reckon. Oh, he started João Pedro over Utara. Interesting. Personally, I think once we saw Welbeck, I think if you had a close decision, you probably should have shouldered João Pedro, but also I'm an idiot and Ben always smashes me in terms of overall rank, so we should probably all just listen to Ben. Ben, start streaming. Everyone can watch your deadline stream instead of mine. Started SALAH this week. Thoughts? Seems fine. Viral 900, new member, thank you very much. Is Ben part of the cartel? Maybe. Am I staying online for the team news? Probably not. It is in 9 minutes, but also there's like my dog's downstairs alone. My wife's out in town for work and stuff today, so the dog's all alone. So I might just go and chill out with her, you know. Life's too short. These guys should head down to the Spanish Arch for a few cans and chill. I've never done that, but I can see why people would. It's very nice the Spanish Arch when it's sunny. Probably not this time of the year, but what's for dinner? I think I've got a chicken burger and I'm doing some homemade chips. Bring the dog to the stream. Yeah, she'd just be too excited up here. When's my next other channel video coming out? I don't know. I guess I have got a bit of time now to the next FPL deadline, but I don't know what to do a video about, so we'll see. I can't do another video saying I'm not sure what I'm going to do, so I'm just making this video. Like, how many times can you do that? I feel physically sick going against Salah. Honestly, I kind of woke up this morning and just knew that I was going to captain Palmer. I was kind of okay with it. It could feel terrible later. I don't feel too bad about it right now. All right. I'm going to shoot off. Is Galway good to visit? I love Galway. You should definitely visit at some point. Thanks for joining me. If you did enjoy that stream, make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button. I don't know when I'm next going to be back for a video or stream because basically all the games pretty much are done by Wednesday, but not until like 10:15. And then the only game on Thursday is West Ham versus Leicester, which I guess some people have got Bowen, Kudus, Wan-Bissaka. It's not that interesting for FPL generally. But the next deadline is not until the 8th of March, so I don't know what I'm going to... I don't know when I'm next going to make a video, but I guess at some point. Anyway, good luck in Game Week 27, and I will catch you at some point for some content for Game Week 28. And also, good luck to anyone that's captain Palmer. Let's hope that wins out, but it might be a painful 24 hours if he blanks, and then we've got to wait for Salah to do what Salah does, but fingers crossed it works out. I'll catch you again soon.